Well, tomorrow the van goes in for a full-on tune-up, absolutely everything getting done. They can do it faster than I can, and their rates are really reasonable, so I'm gonna delegate that to them in the interest of speed and the fact that it's cold out. But today it's a little bit mild. It's about +5 Celsius, but I think it's dropping pretty quick. But anyway, I've never had the doghouse off, so that's got to come off today. Take a look in there, and I'm going to leave it unbolted for the mechanics. Hopefully they'll be happy that the passenger seat is pulled out and everything will go wonderful. I think in that shop they might not actually be able to put this van up to full height, so they're a little concerned about replacing the fuel filter. But I told them, you know, if it doesn't release, don't worry about it, I'll deal with it. Just I wanted a compression test and spark plugs and wires and rotor button and the filters and everything brought back to base zero with basic AC Delco stuff, and so then we'll know that what kind of have a baseline for how smooth the engine runs. I took it down to an engine rebuilder shop, and they came out and listened to it, and they said, actually what he said, he listened to it, and I thought, you know, he looks happy while he's listening to it, and he's revving it, and then he pops the engine bonnet, he goes out around and he looks at it, and he's looking, he says, I would sell this thing fast. I would just get rid of it quick. And I was like, what? Really? And I didn't understand. Like, what was he hearing? And then I realized what he was actually saying was, you should sell it to me right now. And then he smirked and laughed, and I realized, oh no, he says I would drive this to BC, no problem. BC, for like, I'm on the east coast of Canada. BC is on the other extreme end of the continent, on the other side of Canada. So he says, yeah, it sounds like a Chev should sound. And I had to tell him, hey, I've been driving Toyotas for the last long time, so I'm not used to the sound and feel of a V8 anymore. A Chev 350, which I had plenty of back in the day, but now I have to reacquaint myself to the way it sounds and feels, and so that I know when something's off. So anyway, we'll do a full tune-up tomorrow at the garage, and that'll give us, like I say, a baseline of how smooth that engine should run. Take all the tune-up 101 parts out of the mix, replace them all, and I'll keep all the old stuff because it may be absolutely fine, might hear absolutely no difference in the engine. But anyway, I haven't had this doghouse off, so gotta get that off. Alright, so on a 1990 GMC G20, those bolts that hold down the doghouse are 13 millimeter. And of course you release the two spring clamps. And that one came nice and loose. Things in here I'm missing out on. Two of them. And of course they have completely different heads on them. Awesome. One was a star, it's more like a square now. And the other one's an actual bolt head. Oh, look at that. I just put I put a screwdriver in there, and I put a little bit of tension on it. And the top popped out without breaking the door. See if we can get that to happen on the other side. Oh yeah, they're little pins. Lovely. It's an 11. There we go. And we got that cigarette lighter connection. We'll take it off. And we are set. You still here? There you go. I'm just going to take this thing right on out. All the foam in it, or in this cover, is all breaking up. This orange foam, just making a mess. A little bit of oil on the top of the valve pan covers. I would say a mouse or something had been building a nest in here. So a little bit on the valve pan covers. We'll get that all cleaned up. Probably not today, but we will. Want to get it all cleaned up and looking good. But yeah, it looks like a mouse or something was hard at work in there. So I have to clean that out. I'm just here working with the patent pending long distance traveler mouse house removal tool. Works wonderful. So I got the mouse house largely cleaned out of there. Now I have to do a little cleanup on all this foam. Pretty good. So I just wanted to show you the pins that are on the inside of this glove box. They're just little pins with a little nub on the top. Just a little pin. And it just goes in. It's so long, it just goes in and catches something in there and stays in there. But when you want to pop them out, they'll just let go and come out, so you don't have to force anything. You can actually probably grab the pin itself, as opposed to putting a screwdriver on the outside of the door like I did. Having said that, what I did worked, and this is pretty strong plastic, pretty thick 1990 plastic. So it's not brittle, it wasn't breaking. And they put solid wood on the outside of these things. Anyway, yeah, so that's just an interesting little piece of information. Those pins do come out, and you don't have to probably worry about breaking them, as long as you're just a little bit careful. So I'm going to take all those parts from up front, all those screws and bolts, and put them all together in one bag and keep it here in the van so I don't lose this stuff. Alright, so one thing I've been really wondering about in the thinking through of my floor plan. Here's one question I had about that overtop space. I already knew that I'm likely going to cut this out and put just one or two doors in a whole one big compartment. But my question was, is it long enough for guitar case? Yes, it's long enough. So I'll have to go through with the cutout and pull out all these guts and see if you can actually get a guitar case in there. Maybe even just a soft bag with an electric or something, or actually it should be an acoustic. Yeah, see if I can make a space up there work. Otherwise, I'm a little bit torn about keeping this. I almost kind of like the headroom, and I'm thinking shallow, cabinets all the way around, basically, so that you have that continuous amount of storage space, but not infringe too far on the living space. I don't even know that it would come this far, because if you have a lot of it, that's a lot of storage space. But anyway, so that confirmed for me that a case will fit lengthwise. So it's a matter of how high the case is, how far in it'll go. Will it sit all the way in? Because you gotta have guitars when you're going traveling around. Ready for the mechanics. This